Oh yeah, look at this new fence. It's so clean. I love it. Right. Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet. And today we're going to see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19 and a half feet long. I've got the 911 parked maybe 6 to 7 inches from the edge, sitting next to my mother-in-law's Lexus RX, while Mobile Mama is off in LA filming the 26 Hyundai Palisade. And this one is parked also about 6 inches from the edge, and that still leaves plenty of room to walk between the vehicles. Power folding door mirrors on the 911 do help. You could get a wagon or trash cans through if we push the cars out a little bit. You could even get a double stroller. And the nose of the Carrera is just before the gutter at the front of my driveway, and this car is equipped with the optional hydraulic lift, so that is pitched up and helps with the clearance issue that would be at the gutter, and these curb ramps, therefore, are not necessary at this time for this car. And at the back, there is so much room between the garage door and the rear end of the car, plenty to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. There's that new fence again. Hi. When first stopping inside the car, excuse me, Mr. B. Excuse me, Mr. B, why are you on me? What are you doing? You just saying hello? This is a new one for me. This has never happened. Bye-bye. Anyway, with the key fob on me, I can just put my hand on the door handle. It will then pop out to unlock the door. And opening up, I'm going to wait until I'm in a parking lot, parked next to someone else to show you the real door opening space. For now, I'm just going to swing it to the second defined notch and slide on in, ducking my head just a little bit on the way in and crouching down just a touch. You have to have a bit of lower body strength to get into the Carrera. Not too much, though. Closing up that door. Hello, cabin crew. Hello, 911 Carrera. Thank you for joining for this day in the life in the 25 Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet. In this video, I've got just one simple question. Is the convertible version of the 911 nicer to live with than the coupe? Let's begin by starting it up with the start-stop button, no longer the crank-on ignition. Still here on the left, though. And the twin-turbo Boxer 6 has come to life. Let's listen to the idle from outside the car. That is a rambunctious cold start, I will say that, with the sports exhaust of the S. And if you had the car starting very early in the morning before your commute, or you're coming back home late at night, this might ruffle some feathers in the neighborhood, but at least it then settles down into a more modest idle. Before we go anywhere, let me show you where I would stick the items I bring with me every day, like my iPhone 15 Pro, which can slide onto this wireless charging pad, and my slimline wallet also fits in here, but nothing else. It's a pretty shallow cubby. And then in the door pocket, I could not fit really anywhere my 32-ounce water bottle, so I had to bring a single-use bottle, which does fit in that door pocket. I've got my sunglasses in this little felt-lined cubby in here to protect the lenses. And then my Racebox timer is in the passenger door cubby, and my GoPro accessory case had to fit inside the glove box. So large item storage isn't the best inside the 911, but they're always the back seats, and for everything else, you can kind of make it work. Let me throw on my seatbelt now as the start-stop has reignited the flat 6. Pull back on the gear selector, and before I roll out, I want to unfold the door mirrors. And though there isn't a setting in this European spec car to have them just fold in when you lock the vehicle, there probably is one in the US spec model. Rolling forward, left tire on the curb ramp, right tire into the gutter, and we are easily going to clear my neighbor's basketball hoops on our way out. It's still a bit chilly this morning as I make my way out of my neighborhood, so I'm going to leave the top in place for now and turn on my seat heating, which has 3 stages to it, and my favorite feature, steering wheel heating. The button is hidden right here behind the bottom spoke. Now as my body warms to a desired temperature, I can remark that with the top up, driving the cab around town feels just like it would the coupe. You've got pretty similar visibility, maybe just there at that, what would be the C-pillar, and straight out the back with the high cowl, you've got a little more letterbox view than you would in the coupe. But I mean, forward visibility is just as good, side is as well. Seeing around the headrest with that side piece of glass is beneficial, and it's quiet in here. I've got the seat positioned to where I want it, so I've got plenty of headroom above underneath the roof at 6 feet tall. I can pull out the steering wheel, lift it up, or drop it down with the power tilt and telescoping to give me a comfortable posture for my hands to rest. Cruising around in the normal drive mode of the wet, normal, sport, and sport plus options, there's a bit of latency to the throttle response, which allows for more casual commuting. But with 473 horsepower and just under 400 pound-feet of torque, the twin-turbo system gives you a healthy dose of power when you need it, when you dig a little further into the throttle. Then when it's time to scrub that speed, going to the brakes, there is an immediate response, but they are in no way grabby. So you just coast up to the stoplight, and there, the start-stop system killed the engine on approach, so it wasn't abrupt at all. And then when I take my foot off the brake, it starts back up. Again, not really jostling me all that much. If I didn't like the system though, then I could go into the drive settings and turn start-stop off, or I could program it into my favorites button, as I've done here, so now it's just off. But there's a good chance that the person who chose the S trim of the 911 doesn't just want it to be casual all the time. They want a little more spice out of their car. So for them, there is a rotation of the dial to Sport for an instant improvement in throttle response. They could go all the way to Sport Plus, but I think that's a bit aggressive for around town. So I'll keep it in Sport, or if I needed just 20 seconds of passing power, then I could hit the now red button in the center. Which I do enjoy. And it is great that you can hit that button at any time, in any mode, for just that shot of adrenaline. But that's really just a tease for when you might have the time or the space to do something like a real world 0 to 60. But this being the convertible, I feel that now that the sun has come out, I should really lower that top. So I'm gonna start the process. I'm doing 39 miles per hour, and it'll still do the conversion in 12 seconds. We're done. So Sport Plus is what we need for launch control. With the Sport Chrono pack, this should be pretty darn quick. Foot on the brake, pin the throttle, launch control's active, letting go. Good heavens! 0 to 60 in 3.0 seconds. This convertible is crazy. But of course, it's more than just a quick launch. The 911 really sells you on the handling. Composed and fluid. Wickedly fast, tenacious braking. And even though the Cabriolet gives up some structural rigidity to the coupe, it still feels very much in control of its motions. Changes of direction. The steering response is immediate. And the platform is talkative. What a delight to drive. And when you want a little more engagement, there is manual mode. So I can control the operation of this 8-speed dual clutch automatic. With its tenaciously quick shifts and lovely feedback from the paddles. You just feather them, barely pull them, and it's on to the next gear. Gosh, gosh, and you do gain something from the open roof. The access to the sounds, the feeling of the wind. You're just that much more involved with the speed. I love the little blow-off noise. And when you've reached the end of the road and it's time to turn around and do that over again, of course, what does the turn signal sound like? So reserved. I love it. And what about the turning radius? The wheel is fully cranked. And the turning circle is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Wait, but some bozo just rejoined the road doing a U-turn. You gotta honk at that. And what are they gonna hear? Oh my. That is such a sharp and unpleasant tone to the horn. It'll definitely make them think twice about doing that ever again. Now I've put it off for too long. I need coffee and I need something to eat. So I'm stopping in here at Latte de Bagelerie and Grill. And why not copy the Tundra and back it into the space? So clicking this forward into reverse brings up a very high-res camera system with trajectory lines and a bird's eye view. So I can tuck it on in between the lines. Parking sensors helping with proximity. Get up close, but do not touch the curb. Let's get food. Okay, breakfast burrito and coffee. Now the question, well, first, can I get in? Yes, holding on to the A-pillar. Now, can the coffee fit inside the cup holder with the little cardboard heat shield? Perfectly. And getting it out is easy. Now, for the breakfast burrito. Put a little pico salsa on top, mostly just the juice, and take a bite. You know what? It's standard, but the first bite of a burrito is typically just tortilla, and that one had the egg and the bacon and the cheese right up front. Bite number 2, actually getting some tomato here. Growing appreciation for how perfectly the eggs are cooked and the bacon. I put the top back up because I'm getting on the highway in just a second, but before I do, I wanted to talk about the nose lift, because yes, you can manually raise the front end and do so at a decent rate of speed in preparation for a steep driveway ingress or egress, but the car will also learn your drive routes. So based on GPS, if it's getting to a spot where you've lifted the nose before and saved that in the system, it will automatically lift it again, so you don't have to lift a finger. As I get onto the highway here, it goes without saying, there's plenty of passing power. Hit the button, turn the dial, whatever you want to do, you will make your way into the lane of your choosing in any gap you might spot. And when you're at a cruising speed, let me quiet up for a second and listen to the cabin volume with the roof in place. Okay, had 2 different road surfaces there, just smooth tarmac and then the louder concrete surface. And there was raised tire noise on the concrete surface, but here on the tarmac, there's no tire noise whatsoever. A little bit of wind noise at the seams, but man, for a fabric roof, it is so well insulated in here, and what feels like barely louder than the coupe would be. And that's going to be critically important for people who want to commute in this car. And those same people are going to anticipate traffic where some driving assistance features would be helpful. Now, one issue with this particular vehicle is that, as I mentioned, it is a Euro spec car, so the adaptive cruise control gives me warnings and the lane keep assist does the same. But just know, for US spec cars, there are those features to help cut down on the stress and the strain of commuting in traffic. And for whatever length of time you're in the saddle, if you're not ripping it in Sport Plus, then you may want to listen to some music. This car has the optional BOSE sound system, which we can hear via the wireless Apple CarPlay. Nice response from the system. Easy to find what I'm looking for. Get that queued up here. And then I've got a volume knob here and seat control to cut down on distraction while driving. This looks to be about 70%, maybe 75% of peak output. BOSE doesn't make my favorite sound systems in cars. There's only been a handful of times that, for whatever reason, the shape of the interior enhanced the quality of the system. But here, I just feel like there's a little too much distortion and the mids and highs are muddled. The bass had some good punch to it, so I'm satisfied with that. And for non-audiophiles, it's going to do what you want it to do, which is to block out the outside noise and play your music. But you may not savor the fidelity quite as much as other systems. Now we need to grab some groceries, so I'm gonna hop in here to Trader Joe's and just pray that they have eggs. This bird flu has been rough. And I did promise to show you the door opening space parked next to someone in a lot, so here we go. One, but not quite 2 notches, and that makes the exit a bit tighter. Okay, got my 2 bags of groceries here and some flowers for my lovely wife. And I will, of course, be bypassing the rear end of the 911 because the trunk isn't there. It's where the engine is. It's up here at the front. And this is different. It might just be for this Euro spec car, but on the last US spec 911, if I just swiped my hand on the badge, it would open the front. But on this car, I've got to fish out the key fob and hit the unlock button to then reveal a massive cavity here. That is going to easily swallow up 1 and 2 grocery bags, and I could put the flowers in here, but I don't want them to be damaged at all. So I'm going to lay these gently on the back seats. Though I was able to snag some eggs at Trader Joe's. Oh, nice. Matte black Urus. I don't love that car in different colors, but in matte black, that really works. Anyway, Trader Joe's produce isn't the best quality, so I'm making one more grocery stop here at Sprouts. Now here's a question. Does the 911S cab pass the look-back test? By which I mean, as you're walking away from the vehicle, do you feel that strong urge to give it one more glance? And here is the difference between the coupe and the convertible, because the coupe with that classic silhouette, it does make me want to look back at it, but the cab, at least with the roof in place, doesn't compel me in the same way. Now with the top down, different story. Just one more bag for the collection, and I think we know where this is gonna go. In the extra opening with plenty of space on top. It is safe to say that the 911S cab is most certainly grocery store approved. It is a gorgeous day here in Southern California. So nice that it would be a waste not to take this convertible for a cruise along the coast. And then I thought, rather than doing that alone, who would really enjoy this? My Porsche 911 owning mom. So I'm gonna go pick her up and we're gonna get lunch. Welcome, mother.
Hello, Miles. Here we are again.
Yes, we're in a new 911S cab, and it's very much unlike your old 911 coupe.
So many levels,
Yeah.
yes.
So what car do you have?
I have the 993 C2.
Last of the air cooled.
Yes.
95, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
1995.
Yeah.
And she's just the best girl.
Just beautiful.
Absolutely.
Red on tan.
Yes.
Gorgeous color
Very
combo.
classic.
Delightful to drive. And yet trapped right now
Yes.
in Colorado.
In the cold and sometimes snow.
Yes. And always potential for rock chips or just loose debris flying into your car.
Yes.
So you don't do a lot of driving of the 911 out in Colorado?
Well, I don't do as much as I should. I really ought to take it out more, but I'm a big chicken.
The right answer is we need to ship it back to California.
Yes, it's still wearing its California plates.
So it just makes sense. It belongs
Yes.
here. It wants to be here. Let's get
Yes.
it out here. In the meantime, we get to enjoy a convertible version. It's
Well,
quite a bit different from yours.
It sure is, but I have to tell you, it is impressive.
Yeah?
Yeah, anything you'd want to know about the car is available to you right there at the touch of a button.
Yeah, I mean, I can change up all this information. I can change each little gauge, and then I can change the whole look of the gauge cluster. Mm-hmm. Could have it be even taking out the tack from the center. I don't like that.
No,
I mean, that's traditional, getting the tack right there in the middle.
That's right.
Does that bother you not having the analog tack in this car?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I would have to adjust to something this modern.
Right. But all the other conveniences, I mean, you're having your seat cooled right now.
That's just
Can't do that in the
a
993.
luxury over the top.
Yes. And how do you feel about this color combo of the navy on chalk?
Oh, I particularly love it because the chalk color is actually a creamy gray beige.
Yeah. And I love navy, so the fact that there's some navy in here is already a win for me, but
Yes.
it contrasts nicely with that chalk.
I think it complements beautifully.
And there's just leather everywhere too. It's all
Yeah.
over the dashboard,
Yeah,
all over
nice
the door
top
panels.
stitching.
It feels quite premium in here.
Yes.
And they had to use a little gloss black. I don't like this trim at all, but at least they didn't do it down here. Now this is like a knurled finish. Has texture to it.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
And for a tactile person like me, yeah, it's up here. That
yeah.
is.
And it kind of matches with these
Yeah,
little
the
button
knurled ends
tips.
of the toggles.
Yes.
It is quite cool. And of course, Sport Chrono. Optional, but you gotta get it.
Yeah.
So you get the lap timer up there.
I would opt in for that for sure.
Agreed. And it just, the ride is so nice, isn't it?
Oh gosh. These seats they're not constricting.
Yes.
They're gently holding you in place.
Yes.
The bolsters are not impossible to get over.
Nope. And you've got all those adjustments on the side too.
Oh, that's true.
You can tailor it to your body type. The padding is a little on the firm side.
I prefer firm to
Yeah.
mushy.
Okay.
I know a lot of vehicles feel a little bit more like a living room couch.
Yeah, yeah.
And that would
Including
not
the
be my
Dodge Demon.
choice.
Yeah.
So this to me is just the right, Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Just the right combination of supportive,
Yep.
firm, and yet very luxurious.
You heard it here first. Mom likes the Porsche 911 seats.
Yes. But approved.
Yeah, but approved. And I love this ride. It is so smooth.
Oh, we felt nothing.
No.
I mean, you know you're on the road
Yeah.
because you're close to it and it's a Porsche.
Yeah.
But,
Waves.
Coastline. Surfers.
Yes. Beach.
Yay.
I promised. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I have the texture of the road is coming in through the steering wheel, which is impressive because it's an electrically assisted rack. But I know it's there. I know I'm on the road. That's important for a performance car, but I don't feel the imperfections as disturbing of our comfort.
No, not at all. And even the little bounces are very well cushioned.
Yes, and it's not loud.
No,
With that
not
wind
at all.
buffet thing up, buffeting control.
Yes, no, that's a
Shield.
huge feature.
Yeah. We can have at 58 miles per hour, we can have a casual conversation, not shout
We're
at one
not
another.
yelling.
Yes.
No, not at all.
Perhaps on the freeway, bit different story just with so much traffic around.
Trucks.
But on a cool cruise,
Yep.
it's wonderful. How much do you think this car is? Just have to ask you. As a person who doesn't review vehicles,
185.
wow. That's a really good, seriously, that's a really good guess. It's 190.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that with like 28 grand in options.
Oh, my
so
first.
it starts much
my
less.
first inclination was to go 200, and then I said, no, I don't think so. I think it's below.
I mean, I think I'm especially impressed with that because a lot of people who owned older 911s and how the prices just started to do this would be
Sure.
like, maybe 150. No, you were
Wow.
well
All
done,
right.
Mom. Nicely done.
I guess I should be impressed too. Why not?
Impress yourself.
Impress yourself.
All right, Laguna. People still enjoying the beach even when it's fogged out.
No.
That's SoCal.
No,
we live here
they're-
for a reason.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. They know the sun will come out.
It will. Well, the rooftop lounge has this view, which would be so much more picturesque without that fog. Here it is, coconut shrimp, Mediterranean chop salad.
With grilled chicken,
Looks good.
it looks awesome.
Let's try that. Hang on, I'm gonna go for the coconut shrimp. Buttery, sweet,
Lovely.
so good. All right, rooftop lounge, I see you. Well, I don't know about you, but I am reinvigorated.
I'm a little stuffed. It was fabulous.
Fantastic, very filling.
Yes.
And the sun has come back out. Well, more like we're driving away from the fog.
I think we caught up with it inland.
Yes. It's warming me and it's getting me ready. We've done a lot of cruising at this point. Should
Yes.
we do a bit of scooting?
I think we need to see what kind of performance this thing has.
Let's do it. No more prompting required.
Oh, that was great.
A little blow off from the turbochargers.
Yes.
That's nice.
All right, let's go.
Oh yeah. Good flat six noises.
Yes. Music to my ears.
Plenty of momentum. I mean, it's not as engaging as rowing your 6-speed in your 993, but
That's true. That's just a different experience.
yeah, but the dual clutches, it's lovely. And we can still enjoy the scenery while at a quicker clip, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All the better without a roof.
Yes.
I got the need for speed gene from someone. I'm blaming you, Mom.
This is true. This is true.
So we know it's mom approved, but is the 911 S Cabrio kid approved? Let's start with big kids. So to get in the back seats, you pull on this leather strap, seat angles forward, and at least with the top off, you get to just walk on in. But that's where the good news stops, because at least for me at 6 feet tall behind my own seat, I can't get the seat back up. And I don't even think if it was a teen sitting behind me, they would be comfortable at all. But okay, let's say it's a really small person in the front seat, and that would give a bigger person behind them legroom. Well, it's still bad news because the seat backs are completely vertical. So this is just not comfortable. And if the top was up, I'd be like this. Abandoning the idea of a big kid fitting in the back, what about a small one in a car seat? Well, there are 2 sets of lower latch anchors for a rear-facing car seat, but obviously one of those is not going to fit behind this sitting position, though it might fit behind that one. But what about forward-facing car seats? They take up less room this way than rear-facing, so maybe... Yeah, no, I can't move this seat back fully, and that doesn't give them any legroom. Again, it might have to go behind the passenger seat, but the bigger issue is that there aren't top tethers with the Cabriolet. There are in the coupe, but not here. Final effort here. Forward-facing car seat behind the front passenger seat with enough legroom for that kiddo. What does that do to, oh, watch the pillar there. What does that do to, it's on my hat, to the front passenger's legroom? It removes it. It takes it away. So yeah, the only real way that a car seat fits in the 911 S Cab is to not have a passenger with you. Yeah, unfortunately, this one is not family approved. It's family removed. Well, crew, let's top up this 22-gallon tank with the optional extended fuel tank. And the EPA rates the 911 S Cab at 14 mpg in the city, 22 on the highway, and 17 combined, which is precisely what I've been averaging, actually 17.5 during my time with the car. And that gives us a fuel range of 376 miles. And to fill this tank with 91 octane gas that is required at $4.59 per gallon, it'd be $101. And there isn't capless fueling, so I have to work just a little bit harder. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered if the Porsche 911 Carrera was a dish best served topless. Don't think too much about that. Anyway, what I have concluded after quality time spent behind the wheel is that the answer really depends on your lifestyle. If you live in a fair weather climate like Southern California and you've got the time to enjoy the scenery, and maybe you don't have kids or you're just an empty nester, the Cabrio is the way to go. With a convenient, quick folding fabric roof, minimal wind buffeting inside the cabin, and a smooth ride to complement all the sunshine, it's hard not to love top-down motoring. And the convertible doesn't sacrifice any cargo space compared to the coupe thanks to that giant front trunk. However, if you plan to bring more than one adult or kids in car seats, you're in for a struggle, and that is true for both the coupe and Cabrio, but the coupe at least has top tethers for the forward-facing car seats. No such luck in the cab. Whichever body style suits you, the Carrera is a joy to drive and has the features and the thrills to reward enthusiasts while not punishing them as a daily driver. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again, next time.